All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody out there having a great day, night, whenever you're watching. We appreciate it. All we ask right away, like button and subscribe button helps us out a ton, bringing you MMA content on this channel every single week that there is fights. We got a fight this weekend, pay-per-view season, UFC 321, Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane. We also have another title on the line, strawweights. Weili absolutely dominated the division, moving up, and here we got Mackenzie Dern, Jandiroba. We had 14 fights. One got canceled earlier today, El Sawadi. I wanted that fight on the card. It was a solid mid-tier fight, but hey, 13 fights is good. Yeah, there we go. Let me zoom down quick. Let me zoom out quick. When I'm doing this, I'll throw it right away to my man, Big Marley. 13 fights, 2 5-rounders, pay-per-view season, 10 a.m. Eastern, Abu Dhabi. How can you not be excited? How we doing?
Yeah, heck of a way to start the day. Hopefully I'll get an early workout in and then straight into the fights and then could still do something else at night. So hopefully a good card. I've actually never had as many 5 and 1 stars as I do on this card, and I thought about putting another one also. So I think that finding underdogs could be tough on this card, and then all the favorites are all live for big scores. So it's going to be an interesting one, but hopefully a profitable one.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a good broad slate overview. I mean, you do have a lot of 5 stars. You have some 1. We do have 4 mid-tier fights. We have the very rare 8,100 apiece fight in Salkild and Nasrat. A lot of closely lined fights. We do have some big favorites, so as you can see, minus 600 for Umar, minus 500 now for Hamdi, minus 400 Maxim, Amarim. So there definitely is some big favorites, but you got to spend for them, which means the lower tier is more difficult to pinpoint. I do think the mid-tier very strong, a lot of fights in there, and I will definitely be playing a decent amount of the mid-tier if that has to be my broad slate overview. We got YSN, we got Dave and Langley in here. Appreciate everyone hanging out. We will, just a scheduling note, probably be doing these shows around this 8:45 Eastern time moving forward, at least during the NBA season. I'm always in the streets. Late swap can be hectic for that 10 Eastern swap time, so going to try. We always keep these shows about an hour. Get on out here allows me to do some late swap stuff. So 8:45 Eastern-ish for the live people out there that like watching it live. I got nothing else really to add. I mean, if you want to join us at Shipping Nation, absolutely no better time to do it. As you can see above, NFL, college football, NBA, PGA, MLB, MMA, NASCAR, and NHL all going right now. Literally zero better time to be a DFS member, to be a DFS player. If you want to join us, so many sports going on. Best time, again, using the code SHIP19. You can get 5 days for $19. Not much you can get in this world for $19. 5 days at Shipping Nation, one of the best deals you can get. And if you do join, we would love to have you in the Discord, the best community around. What's up, Abrasive? I always see your name. I was just talking to you on Twitter last week. Abrasive. Let me know if I did say it right, but good. I'm glad you like this time. I'm glad it works for people. Always grinding over here. We appreciate all of you watching us. I say we go fight by fight. No time to waste, Big Marley. Bottom to top, like always. First fight of the night, a big favorite. Jacqueline Amarim, minus 420. Take on Miziki Inaway, plus 350. Minus 165 for this fight to finish. We have Amarim, minus 150 inside the distance. Inaway, plus 900. Minus 165 to finish. One girl, Amarim, minus 150 to finish. Amarim, plus 225 in round 1. Amarim, a primary grappler that wants to get to the fight to the mat against a striker who's been off for over 2 years. Feels pretty one-sided to me. I like Amarim. I do not like Inaway, and she will be someone I mix in up top. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go Amarim or pass. I would expect Inaway to be the better striker in this matchup, but we haven't seen her in 2 years. And before that, it was 3 years. So she's had one fight in 5 years. I'm over her at this point. Her and her brother I thought they were going to be solid prospects coming in, and I don't remember what the heck happened to him either. So I guess they just fell off, and now they're giving her a really tough opponent here with Amarim. Amarim's a monster on the mat, and I expect her to get the fight to the ground and dominate and look a minus 400 on the mat. If this is a striking match, we wouldn't want really either side, but that's what would put Inaway in play. I'm just going to X her out, make it a little bit easier on myself. Amarim should be like half the ownership as a couple other people up there in the high price range. So I am interested in her. I just don't know how much I'll be able to get at 9,500. I would rather go down 100 for Aspinall, but so would everybody else. So she is a good way to get a little different.
I agree. I'm not going to be making a rule with Aspinall, I don't think, because if I'm chalking a lot of spots, I do think there is others in the upper tier. A Tom Aspinall first round knockout at 102. Obviously, you take it, but I do think others have that upside that can get you a lot more different on this card. Yes, you do have to find the 100. I do like zeroing out my lineups. If I have Amarim in it and no Tom, is totally fine with me because most people will leave that 100, no doubt about it. And I probably will in plenty of lineups too, leave the 100, but I want to make sure I'm different in some spot. If I'm eating all chalk, playing this other 5-round fight, and I'm playing mid-tier popular fights and I'm just not getting different anywhere else, playing Amarim over Aspinall is something I am fine doing on this card as well. I do not like Inaway, but I don't like a lot of these lower tier fights. I mean, we're going to talk about 4 of the 5 that we talk about to start are all priced in that upper tier, lower tier. So we'll circle back and kind of give rankings after we get to that Walter Walker fight. But yeah, looking ahead, I'll let you people know I do not like these lower tier fighters one bit, which will lead me to more mid-tier type builds and probably more condensed on certain underdogs. And I will say those when we get there. It is not in this next one though, but I do see, looks like you might have a little interest. We have Azat Maxim minus 450, taking on Mitch Raposo plus 350, plus 115 for this fight to finish. Maxim plus 155 inside the distance. Raposo plus 600. So I put these lines up on Tuesday. You can see minus 350 Maxim was Tuesday. Now he's minus 450. A lot of money coming his way, a whole $1. Some money coming in on the under as well. Maxim has taken some money on the inside the distance prop. Yeah, I see you have a couple stars on Raposo. Why is that? What do you see in this fight? And then what Maxim exposure do you see yourself having?
So I started it as 3-3, really as I don't care about this fight. It's my least favorite DFS fight on the card. I think Maxim is just better anywhere the fight goes. I'm picking him to win. But at 9,200, I just don't care for that price tag when there's so many other people around him that I would rather play. I don't even think he's going to be that much different ownership-wise than Amarim, so I'd prefer her because I expect her to need to get to the fight to the mat where Maxim could win a striking match here. He is a good wrestler, and I think he's the better wrestler, but I just don't see him putting up 110, 120 point dominant wrestling score. And I put Raposo as a 4-star just because I would rather play him. I'd rather save the $2,200 and hope for a close fight. Maybe he can get you 60 to 75 points. On this card, I'm kind of okay with it. And it was more because I hate the low range so much that Raposo is the one I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go there if I need to. But I've only built one lineup so far this week. Raposo's not on it. So I don't even know if I'll get to him or not. This is really an X out fight for me, but what are you thinking?
I just think Maxim's so much better everywhere, but he seems like a primary wrestler. He's won 2, 2, and 3 takedowns in his first 3 fights, and all 3 of those opponents were astronomically better at their wrestling defense than I think Raposo is. Like he went against Tyson Nam. Nam's known to be a very boring point fighter, but known to have great hips and great takedown defense. Then he fought Tagir Ulanbekov last fight and Charles Johnson the fight before, and he was getting takedowns on all of them. So I like getting takedowns as what seems to be a primary wrestler at what I think is pretty low ownership. Like I do agree, Amarim and Maxim probably similar ownership, but you are getting 300 savings off of Maxim. And like I think you could go Maxim Aspinall and still get different places. I do think like him compared to Almeida is going to be a lot higher owned. This Dern fight right there. I even think probably Aliscarov, Walter Walker will for sure be higher owned. So I am thinking I'm going to play some Maxim just for the fact of he keeps taking money. His inside the distance prop keeps going down. He seems like a pivot up top, and he is a primary wrestler from what I'm seeing. Now you are like, I do agree. Maybe he's just the better boxer too, and he doesn't have to do that. But I mean, why wouldn't you? Like if you're better boxing them up, but you can just go and slam them down and just have some fun in there. I think there is 100+ point upside. So I will be playing Maxim. Raposo, I don't really know. Like, to be honest, I don't like Inaway, Raposo, Barnett, Sutherland, a lot of them. Like I'll be heavy on like the Volkov stuff in Park. But if I'm picking one of these 5 down below, or 4, because this fight doesn't really count, probably he's second. I definitely like him better than Barnett, and I definitely like him better than Inaway. I probably like Sutherland more, but yeah, I guess just the more teams you build, nature of the slate, like I might just have to have a little bit, but I still think you can X out almost all of them, all 4 of these that we're going to talk to down below, or at least 3 of them, and just be condensed more down low. So Maxim's my preferred play, but with you liking Raposo a little bit, you know what? Maybe I'll keep him in a little.
I might put it back as a 3-3 just so that people don't think that I like Raposo.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, I mean, we play a salary-based game. Like I totally get what your stars are saying. You like plenty of other people in the upper tier more, and the lower tier is so bad relative to these others that you're comparing them to. You like them more than like the Inaway and stuff. So yeah, I don't mind it. Not a fight I really want too much of, but I will be more on the Maxim side, even with the $2,200 price increase. All right, abrasive. Our man likes Chris Barnett. We'll see if Big Marley does. We have Hamdi Abdul Wahab -500 taking on Chris Barnett +385, -190 for this fight to finish. Hamdi -125 inside the distance. Chris Barnett +460. I'll let you just take this fight away. I mean, yeah, what are you seeing? Chris Barnett fight, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad versus bad, really, but I would never lay -450 on Hamdi in a UFC fight. But if you're going to do it on anybody, it would have to be Barnett because he's the bottom of the barrel in the UFC. But the thing is, I mean, Hamdi should have won his last fight, and he just – I don't know why he wasn't looking to wrestle. If he looks to wrestle here, I would think he can dominate. He could get a knockout on the feet as well, but I think he could get a ground and pound stoppage in the first round if he went out here and wrestled. But if he's going to be dumb and just have a striking match, Barnett is live in that, and he could – land something big and knock him out. I'm not fully against playing Barnett. I don't want to click on him. I'd prefer the Hamdi side because he has more upside, get a takedown, just lay some big shots on the ground. I think there's really nothing Barnett could do off of his back. So if Hamdi's smart, which I just don't know that he is, he's got big potential here. And if he isn't smart, then he's going to give Barnett a chance at a victory. So I don't know what to do with this one. That's why I got it as a 3-star. I'm not going to X out Barnett. If he ends up in lineups, then I'm fine with it. And then Hamdi is another way where you can get different up top. People are going to go to Aspinall. People are going to go to a bunch of other people. And after Hamdi's last performance, I don't think they'll be excited to click on his name. So I'm expecting this fight to be low owned in general. Hamdi is a big favorite. He is supposed to be a wrestler. He's got a lot of knockout wins in his career. So I'll probably maybe get some leverage on the Hamdi side. And then if I have 6,900 and I love the rest of my lineup, maybe Barnett can end up there.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have any Barnett in 20 and below. I'm going to play a lot of Hamdi, and it's just simply if there's a 5'9" guy that tips the scales at heavyweight, I just think I have to, as a primary striker, I just think I got to go against him. I mean, nothing against Chris Barnett. That spinning wheel kick, insane. It's always smiling in there. Looks like he's having a good time. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, what he did against Collier cost me a ton of money. Like, I don't think he's a good fighter. I mean, I don't know how serious he takes his training camps and stuff. I mean, man, Hamdi's not good either. But if there's ever a spot for Hamdi to just put up a new, like, one takedown, buddy. One takedown and you're on top. Chris Barnett is not getting back up. And not only that, he will have zero cardio or anything in round 2. And then you can do whatever you want. If you want to knock him out, walk forward, pump that jab, throw a little overhand. But yeah, I mean, Hamdi, he's as gross. I mean, this fight's as gross as it gets, but sometimes gross fights break slates. And I will be cheering for that on the Hamdi side. I just think whether he gets a takedown, dominates that way, whether he knocks him out, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I do prefer Barnett to Inaway, but I do prefer Raposo and Sutherland if choosing over Barnett. But I don't know. I mean, if you're playing a bunch of teams, so almost all of his wins should be finishes. We have +385 money line, and then we have +460 for Chris Barnett inside the distance. So most of his wins are finishes, and I mean, any win could be enough at 6,900 on this card. A finish win almost no doubt puts him there. So, yeah, I don't hate it. Some people want to mix him in. I just don't see him winning at all. Money keeps going against him, so I will not be playing much. I also want to shout out, I don't even know if he wants this known, but my man Rose Bowl, he says he hit me up in Twitter. He always watches these shows. He took second in the head-to-head like qualifier thing that was going for $40,000.
Wow.
So he got all the way to the final, lost last week, but I mean, super impressive stuff. That's a very hard tournament to get all the way. So $40,000, awesome stuff, Rose Bowl. I wanted to shout that out. Yeah, big time stuff. All right, we'll keep it going. Again, appreciate the like button and subscribe button. Next fight on the card. This one should be good. Real life. I'm super pumped for this. Jose Delgado, minus 141. Nathaniel Wood, plus 121. Minus 145 for this fight to finish. Delgado, plus 110 inside the distance. Wood, plus 450. So we have a closely lined fight, but we have most of the finishing equity on one side in Delgado, which makes sense. He has finished all 10 of his wins. Nathaniel Wood opened the favorite in this one, though, so the line completely flipped. So Wood opened minus 150. Hours later was plus 155, and then slowly but surely he's taken a little money back, but the line pretty much has stayed ever since it went to that plus 155 range. Good fight, Big Marley. How do you see it going down?
Yeah, I love this fight. Could be a fight of the night. Really looking forward to it. Delgado is a serious striker. He is dangerous on the feet, and Wood is hittable. He's been cracked multiple times in his career. He usually fights through it, though, but eventually that could give out. So I do agree that Delgado has the finishing upside in this one. But I don't know that I've ever picked against Wood, man. He's my guy. He's got a great game all around. I like when he mixes in his takedowns. I just don't like that he's in this weight class. He is a little too small for this weight class. And wait, this is 135? No, it's 145. Okay, no, I saw the inside the distance.
Minus 135.
Yes, yeah, I wish he would be at 135.
The problem is, man, he just was so dehydrated. Like, he looked like death on the scales every single time. Like, Wood. Like, he just couldn't. I don't know, like, what it was. He looked so bad. But he clearly is. When you look at his, like, height and reach, I mean, he's given up 5 on both. He should be 135, but, man, he looks so bad every time doing it.
But, I mean, he's skilled enough to fight and win at 145. So I'm going to ride with him again here. I'm picking Wood to win. He's got to weather the storm in the first round. But Delgado has looked really, really good against poor competition. And now he's got some serious competition. And I expect Wood to hang in there. And if he can get out of the first round, I think he can start to take over. I like him to win the second and the third round. I don't expect him to put up a big DFS score, but he's an underdog that I'm picking to win. I'm fine going and getting leverage on those people on this card, especially because I'm really struggling to like underdogs. So Wood's going to be one of my favorite clicks as an underdog. There are other dogs that I would expect to score a lot more if they do win. I just like his chances at the win a little bit more.
I'm glad I threw it to you first. I get to save a lot of breath. I think Nathaniel Wood's the play in this one, or the better bet in this one. I don't have a strong lean. I think if I had to pick one, it's Delgado, just because, like, if you're telling me Delgado wins this fight, I think he does score a lot more on average than Nathaniel Wood. I mean, he hits really hard. He's dangerous on the mat, just a go, like, fighter. And Wood, I'm a little worried about his chin the more the fights have gone on. He's been in plenty of wars, but the skill for skill, like, he's no chance. He's a plus 122 underdog in this one. He is so skilled wherever the fight goes. He'll fight for your dollar, mixes in takedowns. It's just he can get hurt easier. Delgado, I mean, he's got power. There's no doubt about that. And he'll fight for your dollar too. So I think this is probably fight of the night as well. Delgado has a lot more finishing upside. If someone's going to score 100 plus, it's probably him. But 85 at 7,700 very well could be on the winner this week. And I don't like many dogs there. So, yeah, one of my favorite fights on the card, I think, for DFS and real life. And the price does a lot with it. 8,500, you can leave money because Delgado could outscore Mackenzie Dern in wins for 100 less and not in the 5-round fight. So just making a pivot like that could give up, you could get a lot of dupes or eliminate a lot of dupes just doing something like that. And yeah, I don't like many cheap fighters, so I'll be playing a good amount of Wood as well. Great fight to target. Yeah, Delgado looks good. I'm super, super pumped for this one. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next fight on the card, Walter Walker minus 350, Luis Sutherland plus 285, minus 260 for this fight to finish. Walker minus 150 inside the distance. Sutherland plus 425, Walker round 1 plus 165. I remember it was supposed to be Walker Usman like 2 weeks ago, and you were saying like it was pre-show. You were pissed that the fight was off because you're about to lock Walter Walker. Is it the same spot where you're just, it looks like it, 5-star and a lot of Walker. It looks like a spot you're going to be hammering it again. What you doing?
Because of the card, I won't be able to get as much as I would on. I'm not going to lock them because I think that card I was kind of struggling to find big favorites that I felt good about, and he was the one. This card, there's a lot of them I like, but he's up there. I do want a lot of them because I expect him to just go out there and dominate on the ground, get a first-round finish. Sutherland is a big guy, and I think he can use his power to get a knockout, and in other fights, use his power to get takedowns and maybe get a ground and pound stoppage or something like that. But you're not going to do that against Walker. You get a takedown against Walker, I have a feeling he's going to take your leg and snap off your ankle. And if the knockout doesn't go Sutherland's way, I do see Walker getting a takedown early and submitting him. I just think he's the skilled grappler in this matchup where Sutherland is just a big, strong guy. So I like Walker, first round finish. But on this card, a first round finish from Walker doesn't do as much as it would on that other card. So he's just going to be another guy I'm mixing in. I'm fine with him being up there in my core play mix. But there's so many guys that I'm fine being in that mix as favorites this week.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting to note, when I was on Tuesday when I put these lines up, it was minus 310 Walker. It did get as low as, oh no, maybe that was just some other books. I thought there was a little buyback at minus 350, but no, some other books do it. Like FanDuel has minus 410. Always price shop in every sport if you're betting. But MMA, all sports, not just MMA. But yeah, you can see a lot of big differences, 60, 70 cents sometimes. I like ranking them. I like Sutherland more than Barnett, Raposo, Inaway for sure, because I think Walker is probably the highest owned of all of them, and so you get the most leverage. And I just think there's the biggest gap on the feet. Sutherland's live for a knockout. Like you can see a clear path that way if Walker can't get takedown. So I know for sure he's my favorite of them below. If I had to rank, it would go Sutherland, Raposo, Barnett, Inaway, and then if I had to rank the favorites, I would go Hamdi, Walker, Amarim, Maxim, I think, but I do not feel strong about my favorite rankings. I could get any of the four, mix and match, and I'd be good with it. But how would you rank those favorites and dogs in those four of the first 5 fights?
So my goal is to not be 71 and under if I can, but I think I'd go Raposo, Sutherland, Barnett, Inaway. And then favorites, Walker, Hamdi, Amarim, and then Maxim, but maybe Walker, Amarim, Hamdi.
Yeah. Clearly, though, Maxim, your least favorite.
Yeah, I'm not going to play Maxim.
What's up, Jordan? Great to see you. Hope you're having a great night. A lot of good sports on right now, that's for sure. Again, we'd love to have you at the Nation. It's very rare you get, 7+ sports going, and you get MLB World Series tomorrow. What a time we have. A lot of money to be made. Again, great community we have at Ship Nation. We'd love to have you. Can get in as low as $19 for 5 days using the code SHIP19. All right, let's talk some mid-tier fights. We have a lot of those coming up. Solid one right here. Ludovic Klein, minus 134. Mateus Rebecki, plus 114. Minus 125 for this fight to finish. Both guys plus 225 inside the distance. Man, the thing with me is Rebecki, I like this fight a lot for DFS. When you average 5.29 significant strikes per minute and 3.46 takedowns per 15 minutes, you're going to score well when you win, and he's only 7,800. The problem with him is his last 3 fights, his face looks awful. This dude is absorbing so much damage, getting in so many wars, and they're going late. Like, he'll fight for your dollar. He'll get all the way to the end. But I'm worried eventually, all this damage catches up to him. Chris Duncan beat the shit out of him. Oralby fight, they beat the shit out of each other. Diego Ferreira beat the shit out of him, as a big dog in that one. So I am worried. And Ludovic Klein has a nasty head kick. The wrestling is interesting. Klein can wrestle. Rebecki can wrestle. So I am worried that it negates each other and it just stays on the feet. And if that's the case, I don't really know what it scores. I am picking Klein by knockout, though. I think the chin will finally go and Klein will find it with a head kick. Even if he gets a third round knockout, though, it might not be enough. So then it brings me to I think I prefer Rebecki because I hate dogs so much. And he's 600 cheaper with the same upside, but I'm picking him to lose. So yeah, this is one of those spots. I like Klein on the money line. I like Rebecki more for DFS a little bit, I think. Tough fight, though. You have a 3-star, a 3 on both sides. So it feels like you're pretty torn as well.
Yeah, I'd say you pretty much broken down how I would. I do lean Klein to win. I'd prefer him on the money line. I do just think he's the better striker in this matchup, and he can keep it on the feet long enough to win there. It could be a decision or it could be a knockout. But if it's a decision, he's probably not going to score very well. I don't expect him to be the wrestler. I do give Rebecki the grappling edge in this one. I'd probably give him the overall wrestling edge as well. So we're really relying on Klein to get a knockout, I think, here. Whereas if Rebecki wins, I think any score or any win from him could put up a pretty decent score. So he's my preferred DFS play. And on a card where I don't have many underdogs, I feel good about it. I have a feeling I'm going to have more Rebecki than the field. So as you were talking, I'm moving it to a 4-star Rebecki, 2-star Klein, but that's my DFS stars, because if I was going to bet this fight, it would be the other way around.
Yeah, I should have threw it to you first. We're lockstep in that, the last two. I like it. Rebecki, your preferred DFS play with the savings. If I had to make a bet, and it sounds like Big Marley had to make a bet, it is Klein. All right, next fight on the card. Ikram Aliscarov taking on Jung Young Park. Aliscarov minus 225. Park plus 190, minus 150 for this fight to finish. Aliscarov plus 125 inside the distance. Park plus 350. Yeah, you mentioned earlier, if everything was right in the world, you wouldn't play any fighter below 7,100. And I totally agree. And if that's the case, that would leave me with quite a bit of Park at 7,200. And yeah, I mean, I'm good with that. I'm going to be forced to play Park and Volkov in these fights. If the longer the fight goes, it has to benefit Park. I mean, he's a UFC vet. He'll fight for your dollar. He also mixes his martial arts well. Aliscarov is definitely dangerous in round one. All 4 of his UFC and Contender Series fights end the first round. He clearly has plenty of upside. So I'm going to play some of him too. And I think he is, forgotten's not the right word, but he's going to be relatively low owned compared to the upper tier with first round upside. So I'm good with him. But man, on a card I don't love many dogs, Park is staring me in the face. I guess I'll throw it to you on that because it seems like you agree. Do you think he could get steam to a 25%? Because now we're talking about a different ball game. I mean, if everyone's seeing the same way and 1/4 of the field is playing a plus 195 guy, you know what I mean? If groupthink just overtakes this card down below, then I might have to start hesitating a bit. But yeah, in a vacuum right now, if he's 19, even 20, yeah, I like Park quite a bit. But I am a little worried now that I'm talking more about it. Break down this one.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me, I guess, if he was around the 25% range. But that's the same thing I was thinking, is that 7,200 Park is where I would like to lean on if I have to go that low, because he is somebody who I could trust in a decision, not just to win, but to score well in a decision. He could put up a good pace on the feet where it wouldn't shock me to see him win a decision where 10 minutes of the fight took place on the feet. And then it also wouldn't shock me to see him land 5 takedowns in that decision and put up a pretty big score. But Aliscarov is the more decorated grappler. He's the more dangerous guy. So he has 110-point upside as well. So I really just don't have a preferred play in this one. I just think that I'm going to end up with more leverage on the Park side because we're hunting for underdogs on this card. And that's just going to leave me to more of him, where I feel good about a lot of favorites. Aliscarov is just one of them mixed in with others. And this is one where I'm going to kind of have to give into the pot, playing both sides of it. But I just have a feeling I'll click on more of the Park side, and that'll lead me to more Aspinall and some more Walter Walker and those guys instead.
Totally agree. I feel pretty lockstep on a lot of this stuff. So hoping we are right, and it is a good card for us because prizes are big. Prize is always big. 100K up top on any fight night card. You told me that 5 years ago. It's my eyes light up. But pay-per-view season, a card and the prizes are definitely good. So hopefully this is a good one to capitalize on. All right, next fight on the card, the very rare 8,100 apiece. Quill and Salkild -114. Nazareth Haqparast -106. +150 for this fight to finish. +315 inside the distance for both guys. So we have 4 mid-tier fights. 3 of the 4 expected to finish. This is the only one expected to go the distance. And it has taken some money too. Again, was +140 to finish. Now +150. I have it the same as you. Salkild is my preferred play because I think if someone does score 100, he has a lot more upside to do so with his wrestling and just unknowns. I mean, he's a young fighter. We know what Nazareth Haqparast is at this point. A very good, steady, I would call him a gatekeeper. Like, if you beat him, you have a chance to do things. If you don't, I mean, you're probably never winning the title. He'll fight for your dollar. He has good hands, throws solid volume. Just feels like the upside, if someone is to break the slate, is Salkild. So he's my preferred play, but I don't love this fight.
Yeah, I'll be playing Salkild in this one. Nazareth probably has the striking matchup. He's just quicker. He's a good striker in general. So that should lead to Salkild needing to wrestle more. And if he does wrestle, I think he's a good enough striker where he can keep it close on the feet and win it with the wrestling. So my plan is to go Salkild or pass. I just don't really want to donate to the pot in this one, playing both sides of an $8,100 fight. So I'm just going to limit it for me. I mean, unless I play 150 this week, then I'll probably get some Nazareth, but I'm expecting it to be 20 or less. And I'll just hope that Nazareth doesn't end up on the optimal lineup. I don't feel that good about Salkild winning, but I feel that good about his wins, probably average 20 more than Nazareth's wins. And that's good enough for me in DFS.
Totally agree with you. Salkild or probably pass if you're making 20 or less. I definitely don't see myself getting at least like 10% max if I was playing 20 teams or less, and even that, I'd totally be fine if I got 0 Nazareth when it was all said and done. 5 fights left. Coin flip fight, -110 apiece. Azmat Murzakanov taking on Alexander Rakic, -150 for this fight to finish. Murzakanov +145 inside the distance. Rakic +285. So we have 15-0 Murzakanov taking on Rakic, who's 0-3 in his last 3. But you want to hear those names? Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prochazka, Magomed Ankalaev. I mean, that's murderer's row right there. So I think we can give Rakic a pass. I will never forget the most I've ever lost live betting a fight was Rakic versus Yuri. Captain leg kicks over here. I swear by my leg kicks.
Same, yeah.
His leg was as beat up as it ever could be, and I kept freaking pressing that button. And yeah, I mean, Yuri, I should know. Yuri's not no normal human. That doesn't affect him. So Rakic has great leg kicks. It feels like the longer the fight goes, the more it benefits Rakic. However, I mean, a 3rd-round KO or decision win for Rakic, I don't even think I want that at 7,900. I'm worried about the pace of this fight, which I think brings me to Murzakanov being my preferred side because it seems like he has the death touch. But man, if he ain't touching him in the first 2 rounds, I don't love this fight. It's probably I was going to say it's my least mid-tier fight, but then the Salkild Haqparast side, I like both of these guys more than Nazareth, but I like Salkild more than both, is I think how I'm viewing it right now. You could talk me into it, though. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, really the line looks trappy to me. A 15-0 fighter against a guy who's 0-3 in his last 3, but it's a pick'em line. To me, Rakic is the better striker. He's the more skilled striker in this one. And if it's a 15-minute striking match, I like him to win. If there's a knockout, I just got to think that Murzakanov is more likely based on durability, and he's got the power as well. But I think Rakic is going to win, and it could be a knockout. He is a good and dangerous striker. We just haven't really seen it from him as much lately, but it wouldn't shock me to see him get a knockout. And I think his ownership will be lower because he hasn't had a big score. So I'm going to be overweight on the Rakic side of this one. He's another underdog I'm picking to win. I will get Murzakanov, though, because he could win in the first round. I also think he could mix in takedowns. He's our more likely wrestler in this one. And I don't think Rakic would have much to offer off his back. That'd be good for Murzakanov, too. But yeah, just another solid fight to target because it's right there in the mid-range. But the worry would be that it is a at-range striking match for 15 minutes, and that's not going to put up a big score either way. I like Rakic to win that, but it could be a 60-point win. I'll get some and hope that he hits a knockout instead, but I don't feel good about him in DFS, and I'd rather take Wood for 200 less. So.
I agree with that. Man, like over 2.5 is -120. If this fight goes over 2.5, like it feels almost drawing stone dead to get to the optimal. But then you look at on the flip side, ownership should be in check. Both guys inside the distance, like plus 145 is phenomenal at 8,300. Plus 285 is good for 7,900. Probably a fight where I'm cap it kind of around the field. If I come in a little under, fine. A little over, fine maybe. But like if it's giving me 1.5x the field on both guys, I'm manually bumping it. And if it's giving me 1.5x lower on both guys, I'm probably rolling with it. So if anything, I lead not playing this fight as much, but they're going to both be in the pool. It's two grown men that could bink each other, but if they don't and they respect each other's power and stays on the feet, which is the route I'm leaning, it's hard to see it being optimal. Whereas like, yeah, Delgado would, I mean, that could just be a banger. Even Salkild Haqparast, like that could be a really, really high-paced fight. So I'd rather there's more outs to get there in fights like those than slow distance striking where you rely on a bink. So that's what I got there. 4 fights left. Next fight on the – all right, first got to shout out a couple other familiar faces. Go Collect, Mateus, you're always saying to Bills. And yeah, he probably is worst 15-0 fighter in MMA history, but I don't know how many 15-0 fighters
no kidding.
We've seen in the UFC. All right, next fights. -200, Gelton Almeida. +170, Alexander Volkov. -325 for this fight to finish. Almeida -145 inside the distance. Volkov +300. Almeida round 1 +235. Do you have the grappler, wrestler in Almeida, or the striker in Volkov?
I like the fight a lot because I do think it's going to be just a binary fight where it's one way or the other. If Almeida gets takedowns, I expect him to keep it there and probably put up a pretty solid score. If he can't get takedowns, I think Volkov is going to piece him up and probably knock him out just because Almeida is not a fighter. He's a good wrestler and he's a good grappler. He's got power on the feet because he's a monster, but that's your only chance against Volkov is just to wing a big shot and land it. Otherwise, Volkov's just going to pick you apart because he's just that much better. He's taller, longer, been doing it a lot longer, fought and beat better competition. So I just like both sides of the fight. I am picking Almeida because he has to get takedowns. And if he does, he's just so damn big and strong that I think he's going to keep it there for 5 minutes, or Volkov's going to get up and we're going to get more takedowns, which is really what we want. But if I'm not clicking on Almeida, if I ended up clicking on other favorites in that one, I'm on Aspinall, I'm on Amarim, I'm on Walker, then I'm probably on my next click going down to Volkov and seeing what happens with my lineup there, because this is one I want to target in the majority of my lineups. I probably want this in 3/4 of my lineups. And I'd prefer the Almeida side. But if I make 150 on SaberSim and it gives me even or a little bit more of Volkov and I like everything else, I think I'd be okay with that.
I agree. I mean, I very well might end up more overweight to Volkov just for the sheer fact of I don't like Inaway. I don't like Raposo. I don't like Barnett. I don't love Sutherland. Haqparast. I don't love Gane when we get there. I mean, I definitely don't like Batiste. We play a salary-based game where I'm not liking too many guys down below. So I think I'm just going to be forced to click the Volkov name maybe more than I want. And again, if people are all seeing it the same way, maybe that leads to more steam on Volkov, which then Almeida, who people will click, don't get it twisted that way, but maybe he comes in a couple percent lower than people have it projected at, just because if you click Volkov, you obviously aren't clicking Almeida, and you feel a lot better, at least I do, with upper tier fighters to pivot away from Almeida than I do from Volkov to click other names down below. So again, I don't know if I'm just living in my own bubble or you kind of agree, but I am worried a little bit about Park and Volkov getting more steam than I guess sites will project, just because, man, it is really uncomfortable to click these names down below.
Yeah, I mean, I already forget what I did with ownership, but I probably have them up there with Wood because they're all really live to win. And it's more so the Volkov and Park are more live to put up big scores, I'd say, when they win. But yeah, it definitely could. And I also think Gane will get his as well. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to mix in some. Who do we talk about already? Rebecki will get some. Vern will definitely get some. So I just don't think it can get too high, but it could get 25% range, I think. Maybe approach 30.
Yeah, I think Volkov, I think we'll see Volkov probably around like 28, 29%. Park like the 23, 24. But yeah, I agree. Like Verna's gonna get ownership. Gon naturally gets ownership, but I am interested, especially after seeing last week. DeRitter was 71%. But what was Brendan Allen, like 22 or something? Like,
What?
man, we've seen these main events. It was the crazy. I said it right away, and like before any of the fights started, that was one of the craziest, like biggest edges if you had Brandon Allen, in my opinion, just because that ownership alone. But if that fight's doing it, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something crazy like that with Aspinall gone. And if that's the case, like the ownership has to go somewhere down below. So I like Volkov. I'll be playing him regardless of the ownership. But again, I do want people to keep that in mind. Great fight to target. I have nothing really more to add about from what Big Marley said. I mean, I expect a double leg in the first 20 seconds from Almeida. If he gets it, especially if it's in the center of the octagon, you should see him float on top, maybe get a finish. If Volkov gets back up, Almeida can quit. He can break. Volkov, last thing on this one. I feel bad for Volkov, man. He should be, bad and good. He should be fighting Aspinall for the title. Cyril Gane lost. Volkov beat him. He should be that guy. But, I mean, you can save a couple of years from his life. I mean, Aspinall would have done some bad things to Volkov. So, from that aspect, I do not feel as bad for him. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy. He wins a robbery, in my opinion. You get rewarded for it. I mean, Dana even said he'd make things right. He obviously clearly didn't.
Yeah, probably with the money backstage.
They had to. I mean, I hope he at least got his win bonus for sure. 3 fights left. Biggest favorite on the card, Umar Nurmagomedov, -700, taking on Mario Batiste, +500. This fight is +190 to finish. Umar +215 inside the distance. Batiste +800. Umar's the man. We eventually got to see Umar Merab again. I could watch that fight every single day, every single week. Just two insanely talented fighters. Mario Batiste is very talented too. But I just think there's levels to the game, and Umar is on a different level. Now, what does that equate to DFS at 9,600 as the most expensive fighter?
I like him. I do think he needs to wrestle quite a bit in this one because Bautista is maybe the better striker. I don't know. The striking could really go either way in this one. Umar's a really good striker, but if Bautista is going to win, I would expect it to be more of a striking match because Umar could absolutely dominate the fight if he goes in there and gets takedowns. And that's why he's a -625. So I got to play some Umar if I can afford it. Bautista, I mean, he's such a good fighter, and 6,600 is so damn cheap, but it's it's the worst matchup in the division, really, aside from Merab. So I doubt I get there. 150, I'm definitely okay with a little bit of Bautista, but with 20 or less, I'm not clicking on him. I'm clicking on Umar if I can afford it. I'm not forcing him in, though. I'm definitely cool with Amarim if I can't afford Umar. I'll have more Aspinall than Umar, I would imagine, just because he is cheaper and he's like the best fighter in the UFC. But I think Umar goes out there and shows why he should get another title shot.
Sorry, I was just making an adjustment. At first, I had like Umar underweight and Maxim over, but I just switched it. Like if I think Umar dominates this much and wrestling is on play, like he has 135 point upside in this one, where I don't think maybe no one else has that on the card. Maybe we just see like a way more aggressive, different Umar. And like if you think he has to wrestle, and Bautista's a good fighter, like that means Batista can get up, which is what I want. I don't want a guy that's just going to lay and not get up and then he just gets finished first round at 105. Yeah. If I'm paying 9,600, I want big boy upside, which requires a good fighter on the other side. So yeah, the more I think about it, money, he keeps taking money. Umar is just the freaking man. 6, 7 takedowns. Like there's in play that he just absolutely nukes the slate and you need him. So at moderate ownership. So I changed that. Around the field, overweight. Yeah, I mean, 20%, even Umar, like I want to get some, but he's 9,600. Like it's really hard. If I don't like the lower tier much, it's hard to go too crazy on him, but I do prefer him much more than Maxim. Now that I think 140 is in play, the more I thought about it, I at least couldn't have an underweight tag on him. What's up, Shark? Saw you were all over Brennan Allen last week, so congrats to you. Good to see you in here. Hope everything is going well. 2 fights left. Co-main event time. 5-round fight. Strawweight title on the line. Mackenzie Dern -150 taking on Virna Jandiroba +130. -125 for this fight to finish. Dern +140 inside the distance. Virna +400. A rematch from 2020. Mackenzie Dern won a unanimous decision. What stood out to me in that fight was not much on the ground. Like, Virna did not want to go to the mat and really grapple. And if that's the case in this fight, like I was trying to pick Virna in the 1K savings, but man, if she was hesitant to go grapple and wrestle 5 years ago, I think Dern leveled up what she leveled up between both girls the most was her striking. So I think Dern on the feet, and if Jandiroba doesn't love it on the mat, like, how does she win this fight? 25 minutes, the 5-year older fighter. Yeah, I'm struggling to get to the Virna side. I've actually debated betting Mackenzie recently, but I see that you have 4 stars, Virna 2 stars, Dern. Please talk me out of putting any money on this one besides for my DFS teams.
And this is kind of like the Klein Rebecki fight to me, where I am picking Dern to win. I think it's similar to the last fight. Not a lot has really changed. Both are really good grapplers, but I think Dern is the most dangerous grappler in the UFC, women's UFC. But maybe Virna is the better wrestler, and maybe her confidence is higher than it was last time, coming off like 5 straight wins or something like that. And since the striking did not go her way the last time, maybe try wrestling here. So I think Virna is the better DFS play, because if she wins, I think she has to wrestle. Whereas Dern can do whatever she wants. She's probably the better striker. She's going to put up more volume on the feet. She's not a good wrestler, but if she can get takedowns, she's going to be fighting for submissions on the ground. Jandiroba's going to have to be fighting it off at all times, unless Jandiroba's in top control. I think she can kind of stay safe in top control. Maybe you can't really land a whole bunch of strikes against someone like Dern and give her a chance to grab your wrist or something like that. But I do think Virna is live with her wrestling here. 7,600 live with the wrestling. I got to mix her into some lineups. So she's my preferred DFS play, but I'm picking Dern to win a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I got no argument. Like, if I had more Virna at the end of the day and it was pretty close, I'm probably rolling with it. But man, Mackenzie's definitely my pick to win. If I'm not confident that Virna will be okay on the mat and willing to be on the mat for 15 plus minutes, like, she's toast on the feet. And I do think Dern is the better grappler when it's all said and done. So yeah, I'm on Mackenzie in this one. Debating betting it, we'll see. But the 1K savings on a slate where I don't love too many dogs is just naturally going to get me more Virna than I otherwise would on some other cards. All right, main event time. Heavyweight champion of the world. Championship on the line. John Jones vacates because he was ducking Tom Aspinall, the man himself. Man, I would have loved to see and get -110 on Tom Aspinall. We will never, unfortunately, probably see that. But Aspinall -370 taking on Cyril Gane, +295. -700 for this fight to finish. Aspinall -350 inside the distance. Gane +500. Aspinall +150 in round 1. Yeah, I mean, Aspinall's better wherever the fight goes. Cyril Gane's just, I don't know, man. He's costed me plenty of cheese before. The dude, he should be way better than he is. He's just a flake. He's a quitter. He's soft. I mean, man, give me some one-shot power. You look like a specimen out there, and you're out here just trying to point fight for 25. Like, you better come in with a different game plan against Tom Aspinall. Otherwise, it's not going to go good for you. He just always has the wrestling in his back pocket if he wants it in this fight, which is, yeah, why I'm actually surprised. The line has gone a couple days in the Gane's favor, which I did not expect to be the case. Yeah, I guess, how do you see it going? You have it 5-1. Are you playing any Cyril Gane?
Yeah, the more lineups I make, the more Gane I would get, because if the fight goes past the second round, Gane's going to be live here. I don't know how much I trust Aspinall's cardio. He's never been able to show it. He's just so damn good. And if things are going well early and he's going for that finish, that could slow him down more. But I do know Gane has 25-minute cardio. He's the better athlete of the two. Neither one of them really move like heavyweights. But Aspinall is just the way more dangerous striker in the first 2 rounds. I think the guy that's going to be the better striker in the first 2 rounds, throwing more volume, pushing the pace, throwing straighter shots. And if he wants to wrestle, then Gane's just fucked, really. He just has to weather that storm long enough for Aspinall to tire out, and then he could be alive to win. I just don't think it's going to get to that. I think Aspinall finishes him in the first round, maybe the second round. But if he's wrestling, a second round could even be okay with Aspinall. So he's my favorite play on the card. I thought about betting him when he was in the minus 300 range. I still not fully against it, but yeah, I would be very nervous if the fight made it out of the first round, because then I'm like, well, shit, is he going to finish in the second? And if he didn't finish in the second, then I think Gane is just going to start to maybe take over. If not, I would really love to see what Aspinall looks like late in fights. But I remember when he went to the second round like one time, and I feel
against Andre Arlovsky, a gross ass fight, and then he just so gross. Then he was like, "All right, I'm tired of this." Just took his back and just like choked the man to death. Like it's super weird. But yeah,
that's what I expect here, though. Yeah, go choke Gane to death in the first round. Maybe it'll be too not quick. Like if it's in the first 60 seconds, that's great. But if it's in the second minute of the fight, maybe it's a little bit too quick and he doesn't score enough. So I'm not going to make a rule to lock Aspinall in. I'd be fine with Umar instead of him, Amarim instead of him, or if I just couldn't afford him, I'd be fine with other people below him. But
I agree.
If I'm hand building, my favorite click is Aspinall.
I agree with all that. I'm not going to be making a rule because, like, if he's not on the winner, you have a lot better chance at a lot lower dupes than if you play this fight. But yeah, in a vacuum, I mean, ownership reflects it. Tom Aspinall, clearly the best play that way. And if you're playing like single entry stuff, I mean, his ownership's even going to be higher than we projected because we projected for flagship stuff. So that's all I got. I mean, 2 5-rounders. Fingers crossed we keep all 13 fights, because if we do, ownership should be spread out enough. And it's a tough card. Good mid-tier fights. Value's tough. Spends look strong, but there's enough spends and enough combinations and 2 5-rounders that I think you can build very solid teams even without leaving too much money. They'll be pretty low dupe. So, yeah, any final thoughts for you?
No, hopefully it's a fun one. I expect Aspinall to win and keep the title as long as he wants, though. He's just the scariest heavyweight, really, because he's so damn fast and he looks like a light heavyweight the way he moves. So can't wait for this fight, and hopefully it's a profitable one. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Let's ship it.
Good luck, everybody. Again, love to have you at the Nation. $5 for $19 using the code SHIP19. All of our content, projections, ownership, slate plan, fight rankings, everything will be up tomorrow, like always, and updated. Well, actually, I'll be up before the fights. It's early, 10 a.m. Eastern. That is 7 a.m. my time. So I will be up in the morning. If anything changes, fights overnight, cancel, whatever it may be, big line movement, I will always tag the Discord. Do have notifications on in the MMA channel, but that'll do it for us. Appreciate all you guys. All the support. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe on the way out. Helps us out a ton. For Big Marley, I'm Titletown. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Peace.